Boxing Voice here with San Antonio hot prospect Eddie, the Hunter Ortiz. Now, you know, don't get, this isn't Paul Walker, so when y'all hear his voice, this isn't reincarnated Paul Walker. But anyways, you got a big fight coming up in about a week, and you got a lot of things going for you, man. So, but you don't have an opponent yet. So as far as that, man, how's everything else going?
It's going good. Just finishing up. We just finished our last sparring session. We might get one more in tomorrow, but as far as over here, we got our last one in, and just sharpening everything up, putting everything together, working on some small things, and just finishing off the cut of the weight. So.
Yeah, and you're kind of a rare breed around here because you are like you're 6'2", 6'1", and you fight at a high weight. So how hard is it for you to get sparring in and find work around a place that like San Antonio that usually has like featherweights, 130 pounders, 140 pounders, 147 pounders, but not really a lot of middleweights and super middleweights? Yeah,
man, it's hard. Besides Enrique and Yeta, Kikin. It's really hard, man. It's just us two, so a lot of the time we had to go out of town to Laredo. They got a good guy out there, Josh Juarez, prospect, or go to Austin with Brian Vera, people like that. But to get it in here in town is really hard, man. There ain't much middleweights you can get around, like, you know, proper sparring. So with that being said, we had a guy come in from Washington who won by knockout in a 10-rounder. So I was sparring with him 10 rounds, but since he left, you know, I didn't really get nobody. So just trying to find people is the hardest part.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of those struggles when you know, young fighters face, and especially what you're facing this week with not having an opponent yet. You know, it's going to be a last-minute replacement. Well, how do you prepare for that, not knowing what he's going to bring, and you know, you're pretty much not going to know who he is until you get to the weigh-in?
It's like the amateurs, man. You don't train for a specific fighter. You just train for the best you. Yeah. So I train to be the best me, and with that being said, I just do what I have to do, not worry about necessarily what my opponent's got. I'd let Carlos Hernandez worry about that. He does the film study, you know, and everything like that. So I let him do all that and just worry about staying in shape, man. Staying in shape, staying sharp. So.
All right, and you do already have 4 fights, and this is your first year as a fighter. So I mean, how pleased are you so far? And what's your take overall of being a pro? And you know, is this where you want to be? And how many fights do you want? Things of that sort.
Yeah. I wanted to finish off with a little bit more. Maybe about 10, just within the first year. But we put quite a bit in. I fought out in Philly one week. The following weekend, I was back in El Salvador fighting. So I can't complain with how fast we've been kind of moving it. But I wish it'd be a little bit quicker. But hopefully by next year, I'll be pushed up to 6 and then 8 rounds right away, because I don't want to waste too much time, you know. So try to get to it.
And one thing I did notice about you, and one thing I did tell Carlos that stuck out when you guys teamed up, was that you've got that you're a hungry fighter. You know, you can't teach that. And with you just saying that kind of reflects that. So what's the lifestyle like, and what's the preparation like, knowing that you want to fight as soon as you get that phone call, you want to be out there and getting the soonest fight that you can get?
I mean, for me, I see it as we're in this for only a short period of time, man. You know, you can't be a boxer forever. I don't want to end up, you know, walking around slurring, and I hate to say that because a lot of us fighters, you know, have to do that, and nobody takes care of us after that, after we're done. So, but for me, also being hungry is, I mean, I'm just competitive, man. I want the best. In the amateurs, I fought the best. I want to continue that going. You know, fighting these little 4-rounders ain't really, I don't really like it, but I know it's a step I have to take. But if it were up to me, I'd be fighting the best. I want to spar the best. So if anybody's out there that want to spar, man, just call me for camp. Left-handed, 6'2", middleweight.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's a stylistic nightmare for a lot of people, and so I think that's something that people will pick up on as far as matchmaking. But going on to that, you know, closing out the year, what can you say reflecting back what it's been like coming out as a national champ, and now here you are as a pro chasing your dream?
Definitely different, man. Amateurs is definitely different. Or the pros is definitely different from the amateurs. I'm learning a lot more. Before, it was just a matter of just getting in the best shape you can, putting it together, going to these tournaments and winning them. Now it's more about, okay, you got to do this in the ring. You got to be smart. You got to think this. If he throws this, you got to throw this. And that's something that I'm very grateful for with Carlos Hernandez. Since Tony Sr. passed away, RIP, I haven't had quite a direction, but Carlos took me under his wing, and everything's worked out great. We're still learning. I'm still learning how to adjust to this pro game with him, but all I can say is that it's coming along beautiful in my mind. If others don't see it, I don't really care. I think it's coming along well. So it's a good partnership, and I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, tall, hungry, southpaw, and you do have the boxing ability. Again, this time last year you were national champion, but you do like to get in there and mix it up and make it a fight. So in the ring, what's that like on your end, knowing when to engage and when to box?
To me, it's about entertainment, man. We're half professional fighters and we're half entertainers, man. We got to give the crowd what they want to see too, but it's about being smart when the time to do that, so I don't get caught or get hurt. But people love that, man. I mean, that's what they pay money for, and I think that's what they deserve. But you just got to be smart. It's all about timing. It's like Conor McGregor said, man. You know, timing beats speed. You know, so accuracy beats power. So you just got to pick your timing when you want to do it and how you want to do it. So, yeah.
All right, last question. You do got a pretty influential person in boxing as far as managing your career in Lester Bedford. What are the talks like with him, and what is, if anything, what are y'all's goals for next year?
Yeah, well, as far as Lester goes, he's not necessarily managing me. He's more advising where we go and take fights in Texas, and that's worked out great. I mean, this is gonna be my second time fighting in El Paso under Jennifer Hahn card, and the last time we fought out there was my pro debut, and it was a beautiful, beautiful stadium. Saw a lot of people, met a lot of people. Now it's gonna be at the Don Haskins Event Center, which is where UTEP basketball plays. So. He's setting me up pretty well in Texas. Now, as far as everywhere else, you know, we're going to figure that out as it comes, but we fought in Philly, El Salvador, and thankfully Carlos has those type of connections too, where we can kind of move around from state to state or from country to country. So, yeah, as far as that goes, I'm happy. I'm happy with everything that's happened this year. We're finna finish this year off with this fight, maybe one more. Yeah. Hopefully we catch it. There's a fight in Mexico that we want to catch. Hopefully we can catch that. If not, then, you know, so be it. But we'll finish this year out strong, and then by the beginning of next year, maybe by the beginning of next year, if not a little bit later on, I'll be at 154. So junior middleweight, here I come.
Oh wow, that's a good move. But yeah, I appreciate the time. You know, there are a lot of rumblings out there about you, and good luck on your path. We'll definitely be there alongside to try to capture it all as much as y'all would let us. So thanks for the time.